$89 is already lower than all the other schleps that bend you over the pinata. You mentioned the Eric Zane Show podcast. You're going to get that for $79. You should see Joe twice a year, at least. Sometimes more if things go kablooey. We're talking about getting the AC clean, maintained, all the components checked. This is a bit of a process. I actually did this once. I helped tune up some of the air conditioning units on top of a restaurant that he maintains. But call upon Joe, 616-516-8579. He'll also save you 10% if you decide to go on the air purification systems. That could be the UV lights, could be the iWave, could be the media cleaning. All there, 616-516-8579 for A&E Heating and Cooling. I've been beating that over your head for the last year, and it's like occasionally I'll get a text from one of the Zaniacs say, hey, what? Who is the heating cooling guy? You see, it just goes in one ear now the other. That's why I got to beat you over the head with it. Also, part of the stable of amazing sponsorship that keeps this free podcast a thing is Blue Frost IT, the managed IT service provider for the show and for small and medium-sized business. During the pandemic, a lot of places have their employees working from home, and they're not using work-grade setups. They're using their laptops, their Macs, whatever it may be. You gotta maintain that stuff. And so Blue Frost IT during the pandemic has slashed their hourly rate by 1/2 because they know some of these businesses are struggling. So that's what they got going for them. 616-200-8550. BlueFrostIT.com. Okay? Also, well worth it to look into a monthly plan with them. That means you have an IT department on call all the time. Let's say you've got like a year, you were like working with them for a year, and they've been doing their updates and checkups and all that they do with business to make sure that the tech is running well. But let's say you get in the weeds. You got a new employee who agrees to a phishing scam or something like that, and everything's in the shitter. What you do is you call on your IT department, and they check in remotely, and they fix the problem. It is awesome. Thank you to Blue Frost IT. 616-800. I'm sorry, 616-2. I didn't feel right. 200-8550. On your mark. Get set. Go.
And now, here's a guy who looks like something that I would draw with my left hand.
You're so ugly you can be a modern art masterpiece.
It's the Eric Zane Show podcast with your host, Eric Zane.
Thank you, Johnny. Welcome to the Eric Zane Show podcast. Oh! Yeah, sounded like I had a special moment there. Hang on a second. Everybody. One more time. Coming back around right now. Here it comes. Right between the eyes. Oh! What's going on, folks? This is the daily rant-filled podcast to discuss news, nonsense, and my personal shenanigans since the last time we met. It's kind of like in the morning, we let it all out, and then shut it all down, and then start to consume and process what the day gives us, and how exactly I will then present it to you 20 hours later when I do it all again. Monday through Friday, right here. Got a live element that a lot of you watch on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Thank you so much for that. And then the everything that I say is recorded by this little beautiful piece of software here called Adobe Audition. And then I post away to all the podcasting platforms so you can get the audio downloadable and you can listen whenever you want. This is, I think we're knocking on the door of 350 times we have done this free podcast. And coincidentally, that would be also 350, nearly. I think I'm at 348 right now, of Patreon bonus podcasts, which aren't as long. But still, that's a hell of a lot of podcasting. My gosh. I wonder what the hours and total amount of time consumed of me staring at that camera, talking to you, doing my thing. I bring it to you today with a, health malady. First of all, on my finger, I gnawed off a friggin' hangnail. Not good. Bleeding like a stuck pig this morning. Might be the worst thing ever. God, I've been a consumer of fingernails and cuticles since I was a little boy. Now, I don't actually ingest them. When I worked with Greg would actually eat the fingernails, which, is a million times worse than just biting them off, spitting them out. Most people just bite them off, spit them out. That's what I do. Greg, I'll never forget working with Greg on Free Beer and Hot Wings. He would bite the fingernail, and then I noticed that he would never spit it out, pull it out of his mouth, and then I would hear like a sound in his mouth, like he was biting into a sunflower seed. And I come to find out, he admitted it later, that he was actually biting them and swallowing the fuckers. I have never heard of that before in my life. But yeah, I mean, that's how he got his sustenance. He would just eat his fingernails. I think we shamed him out of that, though. I've heard in episodes after my demise that he's tried to get away from that. It's probably a good thing. I don't know if it hurts you. I mean, hell, I'd probably do more gross stuff now. Hang on. Sometimes my body betrays me while doing this podcast. And then so there's that. And then a couple days ago, man, holy crap, did I bite my lip. Oh, wow. Slow down when you chew, you idiot. And here we go, man. I got another canker sore that's just starting to emerge. I think I would rather have Alzheimer's than a canker sore. I mean, it's just the worst. And then there's it's from the bite when I bit my lip. You got the tear on the tissue from the lower teeth, and then the upper teeth. There's another spot, and then it expands and they grow together into one big canker, which sounds a lot like cancer. Oh, the worst. I'm thinking they're not working on a cure for these things because their hands are full with coronavirus. We do have coronavirus to talk about a little later on, but, in this day and age, it kind of just creeps into the day. That's pretty much something we just live with now, isn't it? Look, today is Dear Meathead Day. I will be getting Dad on the phone in about 46 minutes. And, I've gotten really accustomed to just saying, all right, send me your questions, and then you come through for me. Make sure you put subject line, Meathead, Dear Meathead. Benjamin West has a question for Dad. And I'm probably going to talk about Meathead's virtual meetup. I see Zach has a question. All I do, basically, and Adam has a question, John has a question, is I search on the email subject line for Meathead, and then they pop up. So that's how it works. If I've missed you in the past, you sent something, why didn't he ask a question? It's either one of two things. Something I'm just not going to ask him for whatever reason, and the other thing would be I just missed it. So send it again. Sorry, I just had a big snorter. Excuse me, I don't know what's wrong with me today. Everything is just like congealed in my brain and flying out of me. All right. Where are we here? I write down all my thoughts like a good podcaster of what I'm going to talk about, and sometimes I have to I went recently from writing it all down on a notebook, but I feel like it's better if I have it on a document, and I know I like it. It's just taking a little bit to get used to it. So if you hear pauses here and there, it's because of that. But I got you. I have a ton of shit to talk about today, as I do every day. I've been singing Bryan Adams all morning. Not 'cause like a knife, but it feels all right. I can't sing. Oh, 'cause like a knife. I got a Bryan Adams story. This is fucking great. I'm a little disappointed in Bryan Adams because he lowered the boom on a piece of commentary, and then he got cold feet and apologized. You can't get cold feet and wimp out on it, Bryan. Come on. Excuse me. Sun is burning into my eyes today. Ah, I love it. So do send along your questions for Dad for Dear Meathead, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. I'd love to hear from you. Yesterday, I'm getting back to normal here. I had a ton of things to do, and I had to take care of them. Madison has been just dogging me about getting this car fixed. Her vehicle is it's an old sled. It's an '06 Civic. It's a Honda. It's got 240,000 miles on it, a little bit more oil in it than Jackie's car, amazingly. Well, yeah, that's no surprise after that. More on that later. Your feedback. This thing looks like, like in the Daytona 500 when all of the cars are in a row, and then the guy in front, like something happens and he gets in a wreck and all the other cars like pile up on him. They're rolling. They're flying through the air. They're on fire. They're landing on their hood and they're rolling another 6 or 7 miles. Car goes flying into the stands and kills people. Tires go flying off, metal everywhere, fiberglass. That's what her car, it looks like one of those. Oh my God, what is wrong with it? Hang on. Sometimes you got to forcefully give it. I might have to back off on the power today. If you recall, some jackass smashed into her in the winter, and we filed a tort claim. They gave us $800 for that to get that thing fixed. Other people look at it and say, it's going to cost you about $800. Here's some cash. Well, I took that money and promptly spent it. So now she's like, well, wait a minute. No, aren't you supposed to fix the car? I go, yeah, sure. That money's long gone. So that means I'm just going to write a check. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's money I didn't have before, and I spent it all, so what the hell? It doesn't matter. In the end, it all works out, checks and balances. So where did I go? Of course, I went over to Riverbend, saw Zach DeGroot, saw David Hauersile. They're all wearing masks in there. And I go, all right, it's time. Let's take care of this thing. Looks at it, it's all tortoise shit. He looks at another part that's also tortoise shit, has nothing to do with the wreck. I go, I want this thing fixed. I'm just sick and tired of looking at a shitty, screwed up car in the driveway. You got to fix it. Went through, no problem. Awesome. No weirdness. Headed out to the grocery store. Had to get more supplies for chaffles. If you missed it earlier in the week, I told you the game changer for losing weight for Diana and myself are the chaffles. What the hell is that, Zane? It's a cheese waffle. Who knew that you could crack eggs and add cheese and it would make the best waffle ever? No carbs. It's like a protein bomb of deliciousness. Dude, I swear to God, I'm making a video of this. This is going to happen. I'm going to start the Eric Zane Show podcast, cooking videos. I swear, Pellerito already signed off on it. He's going to help me out, get this all together. It's going to be sweet. And you will see the magnificence of the chaffle. We made cocoa chocolate chaffles yesterday. I hate the word chaffle. It just sounds weird. But that is what it is. The chocolate ones, I don't know, had a little bit of an aftertaste. You have to add the cocoa, and it has this ring taste to it of like dark chocolate, which is sometimes leaves an aftertaste. So out of all the chaffles we've made, the chocolate ones are I ate them, I enjoyed them somewhat, but it's least favorite, you know. So I had to go out and get some more supplies for more. That's all we eat now. Breakfast, lunch, dinners, chaffles. And it's working, man, because Oh, holy shit, we're taking charge on the diet bet. I'm down 5. I weighed in just over 171 this morning. I was nearly 177. I was about 176 and a half when I started. I was about 171.4 this morning. So you're looking at about a 5-pound weight loss now. We're not even 2 weeks in on diet bet. I think all told I got to lose between 7 and 8 pounds to hit my 4%. Diana's already blown past it. And she went ahead and signed up. You remember back in the day, I would sell P90X, and back in the day, you would put these these DVDs in, and then you'd do the workout. That was made by a company called Beachbody. It's a network marketing, or what do you call it? It's like similar to like you like buy the products. Amway, I guess, is network marketing. Isn't that what it's called? Anyway, Beachbody is that, but still, it's the workout, and it worked, man. I tell you what, I had before and after pictures. I looked like fucking Mr. Ted when I was 19 years old. It was just ripped. And I took the pictures and, like, oiled up my body, and then the guys were, like, giving me so much shit about oiling my body. Great fun. Great memories. Well, Diana went. Now Beachbody, what they do online is they've got all these different fitness programs, and like T25 and different ones that I've never heard of. And she bought it for like 6 months. It's like $50, and you just open up your laptop or your iPad, and it tells you what to do. So she started working out. I'm like, oh boy, now it's getting serious. So she did like some crazy country line dancing thing where she's going woo-ah, and doing dips and stuff like that. And so she's like really jump-starting her metabolism with this workout. So I'm like, well, if you got it, if it's P90X, I'll just do that again. I remember that was the most, I mean, outside of triathlon was like heart and lungs and a lot of strength and, performance-based. But P90X, that was like a lot of show. I mean, that made you look like $1 million, and boy, did it make you strong in terms of power moves like push-ups and pull-ups, stuff like that. So the first one, though, is the one that I had the most success on, and that takes like an hour a day. So I got it now. So the idea is to bring all that shit back 10 years later. So I still have the gear. I have the pull-up bar, and I probably couldn't do no more than 2 pull-ups now. I used to be able to do like 20 a pop, like no problem, just and that strength is gone. My chest is sunken in. I'm a complete disaster. I probably couldn't even do 20 push-ups now. But I got to do something. If I'm losing this weight, I gotta gain some muscle. The average American man starts losing muscle at 40 plus. And that, affects your musculoskeletal system. When that starts to go south, before you know it, you're 75 years old, you're bent over, you look like a question mark, you're feeble and shitty. Keep that muscle mass. So I got to reinstall the frickin' pull-up bar. Problem, I don't have a certain bracket. So I headed out on the road. In addition to go to Riverbend and get my chaffle shit, I got to go get something for the frickin' pull-up bar. And I got recognized 3 times. I'm wearing the mask. I get recognized 3 times. I'm like, yes, pump the ego full of energy. Yes, people know who you are. You're just only a little bit of a loser today. Here you go. Hey, Zane, how are you? I'm like, yeah, man, stay safe, bud. Be safe, brother. Hey, thanks. Avoiding the urge to say, I got a podcast now. I've done that a few times. Now it's been a long time since I started this, and people are like, yeah, we know. Yeah, I watch it, man. It's okay. You don't need to promote yourself. I'm getting better at that. So, all right, that was cool. But this is where I don't want to just tell you about, I got recognized 3 times. The point of the story is, while out, it never fails, something stupid happens. And this is what I'm telling you about. This is when I say it's a rant-filled podcast full of news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. This is personal adventure or shenanigan. Okay, this is it. I went into Gemmons with the pull-up bar because this is how it is all the time. These people are great. And it's similar setup at Baldwin Ace Hardware. But the problem is Baldwin Ace Hardware isn't 2 miles from my house. Gemmons is also an Ace. I walk in there, and, you got the people that work there. I go, look, I got to hang this pull-up bar. The brackets I don't know where the brackets are. I need you to help me. He's, all right, this is going to work. Install this thing. You'll be good to go. Awesome. Thanks, man. Walk out. I got this big-ass fucking pull-up bar. I'm walking out of the place, and I got to throw it in Madison's car because, again, I was in Madison's car because I had to take it to Riverbend. Open up the back door, throw it in the back, and over by the propane, there's a group, getting it filled, and they're having a discussion. And it's an older gentleman and the dude from Gemmons working over at the propane fill station. And it's weird, though, because I hear part of their interaction, and it catches my ear. And I hear, hey, wrong car, man. And I'm like, well, what are they talking about? That's weird. And so I slammed the car door, and I got to see what this is. I turn around, and I'm just about to open the front driver's side door to get in, and while I'm walking towards that to grab the handle, I turn, and the dude who is the older gentleman who was getting his propane tank filled is now ended his conversation with the Gemmons employee, has turned himself around. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Right hip. Ba 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 ba. He comes walking towards me. He's got his mask on, and he goes, wrong car, man. I'm like, what is this crazy fucker doing to me? Older guy, he's got his old man fedora on. It's not that. It's one of those like a newsy hat. He looked like he's 90. He looked ridiculous. He got his mask on. He's kind of hunched over. It's basically what I'm going to look like when I get old. And he's walking towards me. And then it hits. This guy has the exact same car as Madison, and I just opened up the back door of his car and threw my pull-up bar in there. And I go, oh, my God. Well, shit. And he's just looking at me. I go, oh, and I had parked 2 spots over in Madison's 06 Civic. And this old guy, he parked. There was a space in between us, and there's his car. Exact same color, exact same year. It was all beat to shit, similar to Madison's. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, I am so sorry. This is so embarrassing. So I'm putting my Corona-infused pull-up bar in the back of his car. I'm so sorry, man. This is the worst day of my life. And he kind of laughs it off. Thank God. He's probably one of these, like, Korean War veterans. He's going to strangle me. He's going to kill. He can kill me 10 ways with his hands. He's like Fred Rogers in Vietnam. I open up the back door, get my pull-up bar on. Go over to two spots down. The kid filling the propane's laughing his ass off at me. Get in Madison's car, open up my note taker, write down wrong car. Talk about in the open for the Eric Zane Show podcast. Here we are. Unbelievable. The open of the Eric Zane Show podcast is brought to you by Terrytown RV. TerrytownRV.com. 616-236-2754. This how it works, and it is working. It's awesome. You go to their website, pick out an RV you like, pick out a travel trailer, fifth wheel, truck top, or whatever it is. Call them up. Say, I want to see this one and this one. I want to see this travel trailer, and I want to see this fifth wheel. I don't know what I'm going to get yet. And they're going to go, okay, let's set an appointment for you. And then at your appointment time and day, they haul those units to the front of the facility. You get out of your car with your better half. She's happy as hell. And, social distancing practiced. They are just killing it. They're like, oh, my God, we had no idea we would have the ability to adapt the business the way we have, and people are still coming back. They've got a ton of great relationships with their customers. Terrytown RV online at terrytownrv.com. Go and look. Won't be long till the park's going to open. Governor Whitmer's going to say, all right, maybe you can go out. 616-236-2754. Horizon Hydroponics. First of all, let me just throw this out there. Growers 101 is a Zoom meeting we're going to do next week. I've got 3 of you now that I think will be joining me. What I'm doing is I'm doing a Zoom interview / Q&A. If you have considered wanting to grow indoors, and I don't care if it's stalks of celery or the best cannabis the world has ever seen, first step is this. It'll be me, for sure, John from Horizon Hydroponics. Who knows? He has turned his passion for this into an entire amazing industry of retail goodness, and he wants to pass that knowledge on to you. So it'll be us chit-chatting. It's going to be awesome. I haven't yet established the date, but it is next week, probably, let's see. I'm thinking Thursday. That isn't set in stone. But here's what I'm telling you. You got to reach out to me the usual way. Email eric@ericzaneshow.com. Subject line so important. I'm in. I'm in for growers. I'm in for Horizon Hydroponics. Something pertaining to that. In fact, if you could, for sure, in the subject line, write Growers 101. That's the one thing you have to have. Growers 101. As more and more people learn about this, I'm going to get more and more people on the Zoom. I'm going to moderate it. I'm going to direct it, and you're going to ask questions to the experts. Horizon Hydroponics, if you want their gear, if you need something, need supplies, they got 4 physical locations. Alpine and Grand Rapids, the Growers Outlet, Byron Center, Kalamazoo, and Lansing. You order online, and you can pick it up curbside, okay? 877-791-1664. Or you can call in an order and have it delivered to you, 866-791-1664. So 866-877 is the only difference there. It's all at horizonhydroponics.com, HORIZEN hydroponics.com. Shameless plug for me, I do cameos. Mother's Day was big. What's the next thing we're looking forward to that we can promote? Mother's Day. Did they do a 4th of July cameo? Start of summer cameo? The equinox cameo? I don't know. You got somebody who's graduating, maybe retiring, maybe new job, promotion. They just deserve an attaboy. Maybe they're a frontline worker. Let's say you got a friend or a loved one who's a doc, nurse's assistant, volunteer, a nurse, first responder. You know, all these service industries are really on everybody's mind. Wouldn't it be fun if there was a nice engagement with me talking about how amazing they are for the world to see, huh? Honor that special someone with me talking about them. Out of all the shit I do, I think I do it all better than the world. You know that. I'm all of that and humble. But the cameos are what I just love doing those. It happens easily, and I love it. So book me on Cameo. It's set you back a pittance. I had one dude say to me, because you charge way too little for these. I'm not doing this to be rich, man. I'm doing this because it's fun and it's easy. So I sit here, I record a video for 3.5 minutes, and then you give me $15. $15 for 3.5 minutes work is ridiculous. What does that work out to? Let's just say $15 for 2 minutes of work. Oh, I can't do the math. You expect me to do that math? Let's break it down to hourly rate. So that would be 15 times 30 for an hour, right? If I did 30 minutes of cameos at $15 a pop, that would mean I would have an hourly rate of $450 an hour. That's like a doctor. So, no, I'm not charging too much. That's a perfect charge. I think that's the least you can charge on it. I see some of these guys that charge like $1,000, and they suck. Like, you can get Mike Tyson for like an incredible amount of money. You know, if Mike Tyson did 30 cameos at $1,000 a pop, and he did it for an hour, he'd make $30,000 an hour. Hire me on Cameo, cameo.com/Eric Zane. Well, I was talking to you a little bit about Bryan Adams. And thanks to Stu. Stu talks about a lot of great shit on his podcast. In fact, he talks about before I do. Stu's on top of it. He's killing it these days. He's got a Patreon, and he's been really spending a lot of time and energy on it. All we got to do is get him some fucking decent equipment and a microphone. Stu, I'm sick and tired of listening to a podcast where it sounds like you're over here. Buy a microphone, you fucking idiot. And a mixing board. I got a board for you. You can buy. I got an analog board for you that Naki gave me. I give you the board, and yeah, I even got mic cords for. I have a microphone for you, you fucking moron. I credit Stu for giving me the tip off on this story because he talked about it on his podcast. But I'm going to talk about it now. It's probably going to be better. Who knew Bryan freaking Adams could be such a hothead? Well, there's a good side of the story and a bad side of the story. The good side is he lost his shit. He was pissed off because he was about to. He's popular all around the world. Probably, arguably, he's Canadian. He's probably biggest in Canada. And then he's also got obviously a staple of rock radio, pop rock radio, if you will, here in the U.S. You know, you put on your classic rock radio station. You put on LAV. They've got a 115-song library there. That's right, Tony Gates Morning Show. That's right, 97 LAV. That's out of Bryan Adams, baby. It reminds me of my youth back in Litchfield. That reminds me way back when I was walking down the streets playing with a hoop and a stick, baby. Adams, though, was also really popular in England, and he was pissed off because he was about ready to start. He should have been starting the other day a huge money-making concert residency at the Royal Albert Hall in London. And, of course, it was canceled due to the outbreak. So what he's doing, like everybody does these days, is, throw on the cell phone in your living room, bust out the guitar, and do something fun, sing a song. So, he's on there singing Cuts Like a Knife and introducing the acoustic performance of the song on his Instagram page. The singer wrote a caption, okay? And I wish he would have said this. I wish I would have. He might have. I couldn't find it. I think he just wrote it down. He was so pissed off, he hunted and pecked out a commentary while he was playing the frickin' song. He wrote, "Tonight was supposed to be the beginning of a tenancy of gigs at Royal Albert Hall. But thanks to some fucking bat-eating, wet market animal-selling, virus-making, greedy bastards, the whole world is now on hold. Not to mention the thousands that have suffered or died from this virus. My message to them, other than thanks a fucking lot, is go vegan." Hell yeah! I mean, I'm not a vegan, and whatever, though, but that's your thing. I mean, I guess if the world were all vegan, and if it was true, and we don't know that it's true, that the virus was caused by a fucker who ate an animal at a wet market, then yeah, I guess so. I give that an A- for rant, and it's fucking Bryan Adams. The guy wrote a song called "Everything I Do It For You." It's a fucking love song. But problem is, the world. And, everybody is sensitive. And though he said what needed to be said, everybody lambasted him, and he got cold feet. Now, we need to back up a little bit. The world is not 100% sure of how COVID got started. We do know it started in China, and a lot of people think that a bat bit a creature called a pangolin, Pangolins, which I'd never heard of prior to this. And then some fucker was walking around. And he goes, "Oh man, what am I in the mood for? A dog? Ooh, there's a really, really good looking calico cat there that I could eat. Or oh my God, look at this, a baby. I might want to eat some baby today. This Wuhan wet market is go bat. No, that fox bat is just a little too big. Now that pangolin, it's been a while since we had some pangolin. All right, you know what? Hey, dude, I'm gonna take that pangolin. So he gives him some yen. He gives him the pangolin. It's squirming. It's alive. He takes it home and hits it against a rock and then just bites his head off like fucking Ozzy Osbourne. Well, that fucker, he got it. And then he went, "Oh, shit, I'm sick." And then he coughed on the next guy, and the next guy got it. And then 6 months later, 85,000 people in the U.S. are dead because some cocksucker ate a pangolin. That's one theory. That's the theory that Bryan Adams went with. Hell yes. Go with that theory. Why not? Well, the world blew up on Bryan Adams. And he couldn't stand the heat. And now he's got to backtrack. Shit. He was doing so well. Got to say sorry. I'm not saying sorry anymore to anybody else ever again. I'm done saying sorry. If anybody doesn't like what I fucking say, fuck them. And that's what Bryan Adams should do. Of course, I don't have anybody to really answer to anymore. So it's very easy for me. But I don't know if Bryan Adams does too. Who cares? You never have anybody to answer to. You're Bryan Adams. Fucking everywhere they go, the kids want to rock. Remember him on the cover of was it I think the album was it called Cuts Like a Knife? The one where he's got the leather jacket and the fucking hair, and he's one of these guys, Bryan Adams, who he had acne, and so then it cleared up and he's got the scars, but it looks great. You ever see a guy who's got acne scars, but he looks just rugged enough, like he'll beat the shit out of you? He still looks handsome. That's Bryan Adams. Nowadays, he's one of these guys that looks kind of like an old lesbian, but I still think he could pull it out. His hair's like all cut neatly. He needs to go. That album was Reckless, wasn't it, Bryan Adams? I mean, if you're going to call the album Reckless, you better believe you got to have a fucking leather jacket on with pock marks and looking like you're going to kick a kid's ass. I can't talk today. Well, he fucking pussed out. Shit. That's a bummer. Bryan Adams has now had to say sorry. And the world is not happy about it. I know I'm not happy about it. Apologizing following his expletive-ridden rant about the coronavirus canceling his concert series and everybody dying. The article in USA Today says, yep, it was a video to Instagram, him playing guitar and singing Cuts Like a Knife. I love that song, man. Accompanied with a caption, na 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 na. Sorry, I really want to sing today. Then it says the quote that got him in the shitstorm of trouble. How bad could it have been? Adams wrote, to all the people missing out on our shows, back in that other one I was telling you about, I wish I could have been there more than you know. It's been great hanging out in isolation with my children and family, but I miss my other family, my band, my crew, and my fans. It's okay, Bryan. If you ended it there, no problem. Just let the world sort it out. People have opinions. And you might be right. Who gives a fuck? I don't think you said anything that bad. Why are you being a Canadian pussy now? What the fuck is wrong with you, Brian? This is even worse. Tuesday, Adams issued a statement on Instagram in the same fashion. He shared a video singing Into the Fire. Well, I don't know that song, so that means no one's going to watch it. If you did Cuts Like a Knife again, perhaps. And by the way, I don't like the acoustic version of Cuts Like a Knife. That's got to have that guitar solo accompanying you. You can't sing that song on an acoustic guitar, you fuckhead. So if anything, you should be apologizing for that. Is not an acoustic guitar song, dick. Apologies to any and all that took offense to my posting yesterday. Come on. No excuse. God, it gets worse. I just wanted to have a rant about the horrible animal cruelty in these wet markets. So wait a minute. What were you ranting about, Brian? Was it about the death? Was it about we're all locked down? Or is it about because animals have died? Because now I want you to die if you're just sitting there bitching about animals getting it between the eyes. I mean, seriously? Fucking vegans. They're just the shittiest of the shitty. Why can't you just eat what you fucking want and leave the rest of the world alone? You were doing great when I thought you were just being a callous loudmouth. Instead, you were doing all this shit. You were using COVID-19 and the death of hundreds of thousands of people to push your stupid vegan agenda while singing acoustically one of the greatest rock songs of all time. Fuck you, Brian. That's what your rant was about? Animal cruelty? You should have been up north at Fear Bunker North when I smashed that fucking daddy mouse with a shovel. What would you have done then? Busted out Kids Wanna Rock with changing the lyrics to saying, fuck you, Zane? Shut up, Brian. I was ranting about the horrible animal cruelty in those wet markets being the possible source of the virus, and I was promoting veganism. He even admits it. What a dick. I have love for all people, and you don't have love for me. And thoughts are with everyone dealing with this pandemic around the world. You're more worried about the fucking animals, Brian. Shut up. Here's the appropriately titled song that would have been performed tonight at Royal Albert Hall. What happened to you? I wonder if he was into veganism when he was wearing that leather jacket for Reckless, when all those chicks were throwing their wet underwear at him. Were you into veganism then? Why didn't you change the album cover to Reckless when you're wearing your leather jacket, you fuckhead? Made from a cow. Eat my shit, Brian. Turns out a bunch of other asshole rock stars are doing the same thing. We need look no further than asshole Brian May, who just tore his asshole in a tragic gardening accident. He's been all over this, said, this wouldn't happen if we were eating cauliflower all the time. Yeah, you know, it tastes like shit. I just had some cauliflower rice. I talked about it in the podcast. It's shitty. No one likes it. Go to hell. I don't want to hear some fossilized guy who's excellent at playing a guitar solo tell me about what the fuck I'm supposed to eat. Mind your fucking business, you stupid hippie. And then that cocksucker Paul McCartney, the same thing. Paul McCartney calls on Chinese governments to halt wet markets, medieval bat eating. Now, I don't give a shit about them eating a bat being medieval. I just don't want COVID. That's why they should ban that. All right. That's it. Who knew that Bryan Adams buried the lead? I was all about ready to get behind Bryan Adams for that rant, and then I found out he apologized, and then I found out he had like an ulterior motive. It wasn't about the world dying from coronavirus. It was because he's upset that a pangolin died. Should have known. Most of his songs are pussy songs anyway. He did make me cry once. He did the soundtrack to Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron. I saw that movie with my kids when I was getting ready to, after I got fired from yet another radio job. I had to leave them to go to New Jersey, leave my family for 2 months, my pregnant wife, because I got fucking fired. Here I am crying at Bryan Adams songs in the theater. Good times. I have Dear Meathead in moments. I need your questions. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Okay? We'll get to that coming up in just a bit. Like I said, I have a few of them. Let me see if any other usual suspects are emerging. Let's see. Leon says, Dear Meathead. He's got, well, I don't want to say it now. He has a question. Kenny writes, Meathead Zoom meetup. And Kenny has a tip for me. He says, man, sell that shit hard on the freebie today, man. You're bound to get more Patreon signups today. You're right. You are right, Kenny. And I'm glad you're thinking like a radio/podcast producer. Today at 6 p.m., I'm on Zoom with my dad and about 30 Zaniacs for the first ever Meathead virtual meetup. Dad has figured out Zoom with the help of Joanne, and we're going to have a hell of a time, all of us. Now, he is a reluctant participant in this. He goes, I am a busy man. The garden calls. I have gardening to do. I do not. In fact, we scheduled it, and he called me up. He goes, I don't want to do it anymore. I go, why? Well, I am busy. Garden. Planting season. What the fuck? Are you serious? Dad, it's half an hour. It's an hour. These people, I've already sold it. I mean, you got to do it at least one. Can we do a one-off? Okay, I will do one. Now, keeping my fingers crossed that he will have so much fun that he will then say, hey, what was I worried about, guy? Let's go do more. So that's what I'm hoping for. If you are a Patreon subscriber, you are in. All you got to do is sign up. It's a Patreon-only thing, okay? I'm going to record it in case you can't be there for it and make it available to watch later on Patreon. This will not see the light of the day for the free folks. Only special thing for Patreon. I don't give a shit if you sign up right now for $5 a month, do it, and then cancel it. Doesn't matter. But if you want to be in on it, the only way you can participate is if you're on Patreon. So that's how you do it. Either go to my website and click where it says Patreon, and at one of a million spots, you got to be a jackass to miss this. If you can't figure out how to do this, click on it and read. That's all you got to do. Or go to patreon.com/Eric Zane, and you're good to go. No problem. And it's going to be great. I have no idea where this is going to take us. I keep it simple on your questions, folks. I mean, I will help further the question dialogue. And since I am going to moderate it, it's not going to be like a wild bit of chaos with everybody screaming at my dad. I'm going to be saying, all right, Kenny, what is your question for my dad? And then Dad will answer, and then I'll go, thank you, Kenny. Andrea, what is your question for my dad? That's the way I envision this. Okay, something else fun that I'm working on, and I really want to stress this. The bid is made, the bid is created, all I have to do is execute it. And I want you to imagine this. I'm telling you, if anything, COVID has brought together all this chaos and creativity. I actually thought of this bit myself. Rarely do I do this sort of thing. It's usually you guys that come up with something fun. In this case, it's me. The Instagram Instant Trivia Challenge. Eric Zane Show Podcast, Instagram Instant Trivia Challenge. I do Instagram Live. First of all you got to do is be following me on Instagram. And I haven't given you the final details as to when this is going to happen or how often this is going to happen. I'm trying to get it sponsored so that I can get a cash prize. But let's just say I have a sponsor, and you can reach out to me, potential businesses, eric@ericzaneshow.com. And it's going to be up to the sponsor to pay for the gift cards. Let's say every question is worth $10 in gift cards. Let's say Visa gift cards. And I get, I've got 100 people watching me on Instagram. I invite one of you, like you can, on Instagram. Your face appears. It's you and me, face to face, for the world to see. You're on the hot seat. I ask you a trivia question. You've got very short amount of time to answer it. You get it right, ding, 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 ding. You win the $10 or whatever the prize is. And then that's it. And then I go to the next person. Or if you get it wrong, go to the next. It rolls over. Oh, there's 1,000,001 fun things we can do. The only thing you have to do, follow me on Instagram. Search Eric Zane Show on Instagram and follow it. And if you're a sponsor who wants a primo spot for advertising, this is going to be the best money you ever spent. I swear to God. Eric@ericzaneshow.com. Doesn't matter the sponsor. It's your bit. You got to pay for the gift cards. Handshake deal. Cancel when you want. That's it. Email me, and we'll get a quick turnaround on this. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, any final questions for my dad, send them along, eric@ericzaneshow.com. And let's bring him in. Here we go, another edition of Dear Meathead. I can't hear you, Guy. You changed something, Guy. Says that every time.
Good morning.
Hey, Dad, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Oh, excellent, excellent. Missed you last week because I was up north in Grayling.
Yes. Yes, you were.
Did you miss us?
Yes, we did, as a matter of fact. I couldn't even go to sleep because I usually get up to get ready for you.
So what has the morning brought you today? It looks nice on my side of the state. What is the weather like for you, Dad?
Oh, the weather is perfect. Sun shining right now, but it's still on the chilly side.
Yeah, I know it. I saw that. We had a hard frost here in West Michigan yesterday.
Yeah, we supposedly had frost, but I don't see anything about that, so I haven't been out there yet.
What is
but it is cold.
What is the latest on the garden, Dad? People want to know. What's the update on the garden?
My garden?
Yes, sir.
Well, I haven't touched it yet. I rototilled it, about 2 weeks ago. It's a surface rototilling, but my neighbor has a big rototiller that goes deep in the dirt, and he won't do anything till the end of the month. And of course, I got to remind him 4 times.
Now, do you?
And then he says, "Oh, it'll get done. It'll get done."
Okay.
And they decided that they don't want me to do the gardening. They're going to come in and plant it for me.
What?
Because I do a lousy job.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
hey, these guys are. He and his son-in-law, they move in. They put more stuff in there than I ever would. But they know how to do that. I don't. I just put about 6-8 inches apart. But the greatest thing that happens to my garden is the onions.
Oh, really? Why is that?
I grow beautiful onions.
Now, are we talking like big sweet onions here? Or are we talking little green onions?
No, sweet onions.
Okay. So that's a
and then we store it in a cool area for almost a year. Now, this year we had several left over, but we didn't get to use it, and they all went bad. So Joanne weeded it out and threw some of it out.
Okay.
I have like 45 to 50 onions. We stored it in a cool area in our house.
So yeah, those will last quite a long time in that cold storage.
Sure.
Okay. Now, Dad, the audience, I just had a conversation with them. It was one-sided, just me, obviously, but I've gotten a lot of feedback from people who are very, very excited for our little adventure that we're going to do this evening with Meathead's virtual meetup.
Hey, should I get dressed up or what?
Well, I tell you, Dad, I know that you still got it. If you get dressed up and fix your hair up, the ladies are going to lose their minds.
Oh, Really?
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Oh,
Hey,
my
the
God.
hair, I have no control because it's really grown pretty tall.
Well, yeah, you've got some good-looking lettuce. I want you to comb your lettuce because it's shock white. It's fantastic. You remind me of the Dos Equis guy. Yeah, it's
Oh,
awesome.
I don't know. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment, honey. I love you.
Yeah, Dad. Well, they just adore you, and so how this is going to work, Dad, is and you've seen these type of things before, but it isn't going to be like everybody's going to be talking at once, Dad. I'm going to be directing the questions similar to how we do on this moment right now, but they're going to be able to ask you themselves what they want to ask you. So I'm
glad of that because when our family does that, everybody talks the same time.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to have someone to direct it. So I will be the director, and there will be there'll be none of that. Do you remember back in the day on the radio when people would ask you the questions themselves? Yeah. It'll be like that.
That's good.
So
that's good. I get to know the people, and you got a lovely audience. I'll tell you that right now. But I never hear them.
Right. I always have to read you the information, but somebody came up with a great idea, one of my audience members, to do this. So I'm like, oh my God, it's a great idea. So it happens tonight at 6 p.m. So I'm very excited about this.
Now, going back initially when we started this, you had one fellow that constantly called you, and then he sent me a vase or a vase for a gift.
Yes.
What a wonderful guy he was. But apparently, somehow, it fell apart, and we never heard from him anymore.
Jeremy. I know who you're talking about. His name is Jeremy. I see him from time.
Right.
Yeah, I saw him at a hockey game before the pandemic, and he has. I saw his son, and I think I'm not sure what he does these days. But I think he still listens, but he's just not very active these days. I don't know what happened. I think he's wanted by the police or something.
Oh, come on. Well, he's just a lovely man. He really is.
Oh, yeah.
And we still have that vase. In fact, just now, I think Joanne put a whole lot of beautiful flowers in that vase.
What did it say on it? Dear Meathead or something on it? Did it say anything on it?
Grand Rapids loves you.
Oh, yeah. Well, Dad, there's going to be people from all different parts of the country on the Zoom. I've got audience members in different states who are going to be with us tonight.
That's great. I'm so grateful that you have such a great relationship with the people that you're dealing with.
They're the best. I say this as much as I can. I sometimes worry that I'm getting too emotional with them, but whenever I say that they have what they've done to support me in doing this from home has kept us alive. I mean, to be able to say that I've been able to keep maintaining a type of this type of show for almost a year and a half is solely by the power of them and the sponsors. So I am always cognizant of that.
You're absolutely correct. That's good. Yeah, you have a great audience, and they're good to you, and you're good to them. Maybe that's got to be a two-way street.
They're better to me than I am to them because sometimes I yell at them.
Oh well, no. I think your audience is just great audience, but I never hear them. I hear their words through you. So
it's gonna be fun.
They have good questions,
Oh, yeah.
But I never used to be. The way I'm handling it now, I used to be clowning around and joking around, and I took a little serious side to it now.
I don't know. I think you're a clown.
I still screw around.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. You've said some of the best things ever. All you got to do is be you, Dad. You're good. You're good. In fact, I do have a few questions via email that I would like to run by you, Dad, if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
And the audience can still send them along, eric@ericzaneshow.com. Leon starts us off. And Leon, Dad, says, Meathead, what is the strangest food that you've ever eaten, and did you enjoy it?
Now, the question is, are you talking about in America or my past life as a young kid or what?
I think he means anything. It doesn't matter.
Strangers meat that the strangest meal that I will eat, that I have had,
Yeah.
is totally raw meat, ground beef, ground several times in a huge bowl, which my mom used to take it in their hand, chunk of it, and then squeeze it and set it aside. They make chunks out of it. Maybe about 40 chunks of raw meat.
Well, why? Why would she do that? Was she not
Well,
aware?
that's the delicacy.
Wasn't she?
That has seasoning on it and all that, and big bowl of that is on a table. That generally, when we have company, and we always hope to and pray to God that we keep getting company, because that was our favorite food. I still would have ground round in here once in a while and eat the raw meat.
If I was
and my wife,
yeah.
Joanne says, "Yeah."
If I had a time machine and I went to Grandma's house and sat at that table, I'd puke in the bowl.
Well, hey. No, this is great stuff. That's delicacy. That is great.
So
I mean, when you season a raw beef, which is ground several times over, it really is. It just melts in your mouth.
oh God, oh jeez.
And my wife is just throwing up right now.
Yeah, you know, I think that if there's ever a time that we have to eat humans, I think you would survive because you would just bite you would have no problem.
You got her cracking up.
You just bite. You say, "Oh yeah, Paul next door. He's got a lot of meat on his bones. Let's go eat him."
Hey, if you don't know what you got and who is, if it's ground round or something, you just eat it. You know.
Yeah, people, you're gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna live forever. I got a meat grinder. I've been eating my neighbors.
But no, it would take my mother about half a day to prepare that.
It would? How hard is it? You just take the meat and throw it in a bowl.
No. You grind them over and over and over. It takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours of grinding.
Oh, man.
And it's a hand grinding. We never had power machines or anything else.
She sounds like
Put the meat in there and do it over and over and over.
I mean, God rest Grandma Mary's soul, but she sounds like a terrible cook.
She was an angel. No, she was a great cook.
I'm glad she lived on the West Coast when she moved to America, so we didn't have to go to her house and eat, some raw coyote or whatever the hell she was eating at the time.
No, hey, listen, we survived. Our types of meals were just like, I feel like at this time, it was like hand-me-downs, but this butcher had that huge beef hanging off of some kind of hook outside of a store in a street.
I am convinced that there is no way you could get coronavirus because of all the things you ate. There's no way. The CDC needs to test your blood for a cure.
Well, I got good news for you. I am 1,000% Americanized.
Oh, I know.
And I eat strictly American food.
I know. I remember growing up. It's like your Uncle Sam. I mean, seriously.
So, our food is totally American food.
All right. Hey, by the way, you'd have loved it, man. I cooked a leg of lamb the other day.
Ooh.
I know that's like one of your favorites.
Yes, it is.
And it was fantastic. It had garlic on it. It had a garlic crust. It was incredible. You would have loved it. I got to cook you my lamb recipe next time I see you.
Was it like ground round?
No, it was the actual lamb.
Ground lamb, right.
No,
That's what
it wasn't ground. It was a whole friggin' leg.
Solid?
Yeah, and you roast that thing, and then you slice it thin. And it's like, oh, man. Fantastic.
Yeah, just like a steak, you take them and
exactly.
chunk them.
Exactly.
Slice them.
Yeah, bone in. You got to have bone in. But that's
you got some talents I was not aware of.
So good. Of course, if you were over, you'd just take it out of the package and eat it before we threw it in the oven. But
I would have. I really would have.
Hey, where's the food? And you'd be gnawing on the leg bone. This is cooked. You'd be like, this is cooked perfectly.
So when you come to visit us one day, try to make it early in the morning and bring some of that with you to cook it here.
Oh, yeah, it's only an hour
I got
and a
a
half.
grill.
Hour and a half. Yep, piece of cake. Easy.
Wow.
All right. Benjamin has this question. Benjamin writes, hey, Meathead, a tree fell on our house. Did some damage to the lawn. We've been trying to grow grass in the affected areas, but in some of the spots, the grass isn't doing so well. Any suggestions on a good product for helping to get the grass growing now that it's warmer? Or should I just bite the bullet and hire someone to do it? Signed, Benjamin. He wants to know how to grow grass, Dad.
All right, now that's my cup of tea as far as I'm concerned, because I've got a lot of area in here that I got to do that, and
Okay,
I'm done.
you know what's up with that.
Yes. Now,
Okay.
all right. When a tree fell on it, they probably put a huge, deep indentation on the earth that you got it and all that.
Yeah.
Get yourself nice black topsoil. Like maybe 5, 6. Depends on the area how big it is.
Yeah.
And rake that whole area really thoroughly and powerful. I put weight on it while you're raking. Clear that whole area up. And then if it's really deep area, like 4 or 5 inches deep, fill it in with slices, some of that topsoil that you've got. Not all the way up.
Okay.
Leave about 1.5 to 2 inches before it meets the rest of the surface of the earth.
Okay.
And then put in your seeds, sprinkle it by hand. Don't go with this machine that you use twirl it around and all. No, you got to get a seed. A bag of seed that I buy that costs about $20, $25 a bag. And I sprinkle it by hand. I do the heavy-duty sprinkling as far as I'm concerned. And then recover it with a thin slice of soil. And put some stakes around it and border that with some kind of a ribbon around it so nobody can walk on that.
Uh-huh.
And then water the hell out of it. It'll probably take you 4 or 5 weeks of good watering. Eventually you'll have some nice grass coming up.
What about the hay? Are you supposed to put hay on top of it?
No, I would not do that because it really messes it all up. No, because when you cover it with dirt, no bugs can get in there, no animals, no birds can pick your seed. So you're doing perfect.
Where does
don't step on that layer that you put the final coat of dirt. Don't make it hard for the seed to grow up.
Yeah. Hey, so side note, where does one find a thin slice of soil?
Not thin. You just buy topsoil. Sprinkling on there, cover it well.
I thought you were talking about bread.
No. A layer of topsoil. You already had topsoil on the bottom.
Yes.
You put the seed on, then put topsoil on top of it.
All right, and then wait, and it should take off.
And then gently with the back of the shovel, start tampling the area that you put the seed in. Don't make it too hard. Make it easy to grow
nice
up.
and loose. All right, good. I like it. All right, there you go, Ben. All right, now Zach has a question based on a story that was in the news about a guy speeding on the interstate. You might have heard that. But first, Zach writes, first of all, Meathead, I've been a fan since the beginning. He writes,
God bless your heart. You're a good man.
Oh, yeah. Zach writes,
I like you to be my friend and me yours.
Well, they love you, Dad. And Zach writes, I look forward to hearing your advice and opinions each and every week. He's a big fan, Dad. He writes, your outlook on life reminds me a lot of my grandfather, and it always puts a smile on my face. And then what he wanted to ask you was, he said, Meathead, there was a news story about a guy that was doing 180 miles an hour near the Detroit area on the freeway. He was doing 110 over the speed limit. He wants to know what is the fastest you've ever gone in a car or the fastest you've ever gotten a speeding ticket for. Signed, Zach. And he says, I hope you and Joanne are doing well.
Zach, I appreciate your comments and the questions that you have. I have never been a wild driver. However, I've done maybe 60. I've done 70 miles. 70. I did at one point 75 miles an hour going somewhere up north or so, and then a female police officer stopped me, and then the very great question always appears: do you realize how fast were you going? And I said, "Oh, I did not. Why? Was I speeding?" And I was not kidding.
Okay.
Ordinarily, I think that was the wrong thing to say because the guy would think that I'm trying to kid with him and all that, and I'm playing around. No.
Well.
But she really was cool. She says, "You're doing 85 miles or something like that."
Wow. Well, what happened was you probably
75.
charmed her. You probably charmed her, knowing you. I don't know.
Well, no, we talked. I'm sorry about that. And of course,
It was a 50-mile-an-hour zone.
it was a 50-mile-an-hour zone.
Okay, I was going to say, yeah, all right.
I was like 30, 35 miles over the limit.
All right. Now, was Joanne sitting right there?
She was right alongside of me.
Okay.
And I'm not saying anything. And then we're talking, and she said, "Well, give me your license." I give him the license and all that. And she read it, and here's back and all that. She says, "I don't know what made her think of this."
You said you haven't had a ticket.
I said, "I did." I said, "I haven't had a ticket for 30 years or 25 years or something like that. And I really hate to destroy my record for being a bonehead."
Boy, yeah.
I put myself down. I did not cocky or nothing else.
It's a good move, Dad.
That's a key to this whole word when a driver retaliates a police officer when they stop you.
You don't
do that to a police officer.
You got to be humble. They're the boss. You're like,
you got to be humble. Oh, I apologize. And now, if he had detected alcohol in my breath and all that, there'd be a different story. But I was clean.
Oh yeah.
And by God, she says, "Well, I'll tell you, I'm going to give you a warning and let you go. And please be careful. This is a 50 or 55 miles an hour zone." So that really, that's about the essence of it. And one day, I did want to. I used to live in Oak Park or somewhere.
Yeah.
In Warren, I was doing 30 miles an hour somewhere. It's a 25-mile zone.
Okay.
And this bonehead stopped me.
Well, that was Hazel Park.
That was in Hazel Park, according to Joanne. She said, the abominable question, "Do you realize how fast were you going?" I says, "Well, I don't have a clue how fast I was going, but I'm a cautious driver and all that." He actually gave me a ticket.
Oh, no. What the
5 over the speed limit.
Ah, for God's sake. He's probably having a bad day,
I don't know. I said, are you serious?
Wait, he probably...
He says, "You want to keep on talking?" I says, "No, I don't."
Oh, my
Hey,
God.
don't move on with the cops.
Yeah, you just gotta take it, answer their questions. All right.
That's right. That guy is going through hell throughout the morning till nighttime. He is really protecting you. A police officer, often enough, is not a bad guy.
Yep. I always
And if he is a bad guy, it's because his wife gave him a bad time.
Sure. He's only whatever happened. He's probably upset because he couldn't go and beat up some black kids.
Really? This is ridiculous. I mean, police officer is a protector of us, and here we're challenging him. Come on.
All right. Adam writes this. Dear Meathead, it's a pleasure to write to you. Question, do you like the Rocky movies? Have I ever asked you this one? I think I might have asked you this. He wants to know if you like the Rocky movies.
Adam, I love Rocky movies. I absolutely love it.
God.
It's just awesome. Yeah. Mostly well done, well prepared. And it really is enjoyable. I will probably see it over and over.
Okay.
And then this guy is a cool guy. But again, he got a little too old right now.
Yeah,
He's acting a little goofy.
I think he's still making the movies. I think he's like older than
you.
Is. He's like
he is.
94 years old. Did you hear that Mike Tyson might box again?
Huh?
Yeah, Mike Tyson might box again. He's talking about getting back. He's right. He's 53 years old.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's awesome. He really is awesome. My wife is a fan of him, too.
All right. John writes this. Hello, Ruben. Real easy question. We recently bought a 16-foot fishing boat. My 2 daughters and me have been trying to think of a name for the boat. Can you think of a name for the boat Please embellish.
Oh, boy.
Summer place.
How about, well, Joanne says summer place, but that's not a summer place, as far as I'm concerned.
No. I mean, yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. I'm not going to say that that's a bad name. But off the top of your head, if you had a boat, what would you call it?
I gotta think a minute or two.
Now,
How about waterway?
Waterway is the boat.
Waterway.
So it'd be like that would be your way to the water.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So they'd paint it on the back of the boat, waterway.
Or make it a longer fun on the waterway.
Well, that's a lot of words.
Okay.
Fun on the waterway. All right.
Waterway is the fastest thing that comes to my mind as far as I'm concerned. Or maybe a fun place.
All right. This is Nick.
It's a place. You're sitting in there, you know.
Yeah, that's good. Sorry, Nick writes, as you know, Meathead, I'm looking for a house. My dad wants to move with me, so I'm looking for someone with an in-law apartment. Problem is, he and my wife have a tendency to butt heads. Do you have any recommendations? So his dad wants to move in with him. He's got a wife. The wife tends to fight with dude's dad. Oh, boy. What do you think about this?
Well, that goes a little deeper than just a conversation. First of all, there is an issue.
Yeah.
The issue is the fact that someone wants to be a leader.
Okay.
One of the two. Now, I cannot understand why in-laws have any difficulty with the outlaws. You know, a son and a daughter own a house, and the parents want to move in, either on a wife's side or a husband's side.
Uh-huh.
Hey, these are people that have raised families, that have raised children. They deserve the respect, whether you like it or not. It's the character of a person. You cannot change the basic character of a person.
Yeah.
One thing you can do, bring yourself to a point to be tolerant. I don't care how deep the issue is, unless you're personally attacked by them.
Yeah.
And they take over raising your kids and this and that. But the most important thing is the only way you can solve and resolve this issue is the fact of simply say, Dad, if you're going to call him a dad, or Mom, here's my problem. You're doing things that it doesn't match my character. I wish that you would not continue doing that. But I respect you for your personality and your thought.
So you might say, Dad, there are things you're doing in your character, like eating raw meat. That's not so great.
Hey, don't knock it till you try it, man.
All right, I like that.
But no, not in conclusion, or father and mother, in-laws, they are grown adults. They don't require retaliation. It's their character, just like you have your character. No one else is retaliating you.
I think at the end of the day, the lady is in charge, and you just and man to man, you say, Dad, let it go, man. I mean, seriously, this is a precarious situation. We got to get cooperation here. Don't fight with my wife.
Dad, I appreciate your input. That's good, but it's not my style.
100%.
So I'll let you do what you want to do and allow me to be what I want to be.
No, I'm with you, man. It's all about live for another day. Kick the can down the road. You know? There you go, Nick. I hope that works out for you. And Nick,
Nick, please put that really into your vocabulary.
Nick is going to be with you on Meathead's virtual meetup. He's probably going to smoke a pack of cigarettes the whole time he's there. And holy cow, it's going to be great. Let me double check, make sure I haven't missed any questions, because I know I had a lot of people from the past who
this is awesome. I appreciate that.
Let's see here. Meathead. I think I think I got it, man. I think that's it. If I did miss anybody, I apologize. Just resend it with the same subject line, Dear Meathead, and we'll get to it in a later episode. But all right, hey.
Go ahead.
No. You go ahead, please.
This has been one of the most I ever heard from the people. Really,
oh, yeah,
this is awesome.
They love you, Dad. I'm telling you, and they're really excited about tonight. So I am too, and I'll talk to you a little later on today, and it should be fun. If you have any questions, I'll get with you ahead of time to make sure that you're on the same page as me.
All right, and I appreciate the fact that they called, and I hope to God that I have said enough things that made common sense. Maybe.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me sometimes.
Yep.
I think it doesn't make sense with the audience.
No, that's what they love. If it doesn't make sense, that's the best part.
Well, don't push me to that because it gets a lot of weird things coming on.
Okay, guys, I love you very much, okay?
I love you and love your audience. You're wonderful people, and God bless you, and we'll see you very soon with the raw meat.
Yes, sir. Yeah, have some raw meat to eat for us on the video.
Hey, I'll have to make it for you and shove it down your throat and see how
Oh, my God. All right, Joanne, we'll talk to you, okay?
Okay, honey.
All right, God bless you, and talk to you later.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye.
There you go. In the books, another spectacular edition live of Dear Meathead. Yeah, it's really come a long way. I mean, the idea that we can pipe them in with my meager setup, and it sounds pretty damn good, actually. I'm pretty happy with how that works. Yeah, it does work. So thanks a bunch for just falling in love with Dad. He's great. All right, where are we here? I always got to regroup. What was I gonna do? What was I gonna talk about? More coming up. I need to tell you about a changing of the law in Utah over something that, boy, they are just a strange bunch of fucking weirdos in Utah. What a weird ass thing, and I don't know why they would want this. Why anybody because people were protesting about something like, we gotta have this. This is our religious freedom, and so they changed the law to make something like the same as a traffic ticket, something that you and I would be like, what the fuck is this? It's so fucking weird. I've also got some feedback from you about my daughter and her driving a car with no oil in it, and feedback on Facebook about my Free Bear and Hot Wings post, which it's a little weird for me to do that, but a lot of people weighed in on it, so I think it warrants a discussion. As I said, do sign up on Patreon, patreon.com/Eric Zane if you want in on Meathead's virtual meetup. Once you sign up, you got to let me know that you want in on Meathead's virtual meetup, but do sign up and you can see and hear Dad this evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. The Kent County Health Department wants to remind you, keep coughing into your elbow, keep wearing your mask, keep not being an asshole, stay focused, go out when you need to, get your stuff, get your supplies. You can slowly start to return to normal is what we're going to see as time passes. But we still have a pandemic that kills a lot of people in the state of Michigan. Kent County is a county that is taken off. It's a hot spot. Counties like Macomb and Oakland, Wayne, they were first in Michigan. Now it's Kent County. And hundreds of people a day are being diagnosed with COVID. So keep at it. Focus on doing the right things and making the right decisions. Don't be one of these stubborn asshole fuck faces who don't wear a mask. They can eat shit. They're selfish assholes. Wear your fucking mask. This is from the Kent County Health Department. Wear your fucking mask. If you're hard up for cash during the pandemic, you ain't working. You get money from, or you're getting food from churches and stuff like that. You can get more food with the WIC program. You got to call 616-632-7200 to find out if you qualify for WIC. Hey, you pay into that your whole life with your taxes. Use that, okay? As always, thank you to Baldwin Ace Hardware. I wish you were right here so I could go see you all the damn time. Baldwin Ace Hardware in the community of Baldwin, Michigan. Very, very hard hit. They've remained open. They are essential, but this is the key time of the year when families are going up to their vacation spots, and Baldwin Ace Hardware gets like 75% of their business in a year in this season. That's dried up. So if you do have the luxury to be able to get up there, please engage Baldwin Ace Hardware. Mike Gilmurray has worked very hard to keep his employees working as much as he can. He's applied for the payroll protection money that keeps getting raided by big businesses. Hopefully that turns around for him, Mike and Jennifer Gilmurray. Green Clean Technologies, I had to move the sign because Will, who runs Green Clean Technologies, is like, hey, dude, I can't even see the sign. Your head is in the way. So I moved it. What the hell is Green Clean Technologies? They clean. They clean effectively. They clean. I almost said they cream green. That would be weird. They clean green. And how they do it is their efforts are cleaning critical environments, financial institutions, a lot of stuff that has tech. So you go into the server room or whatever it is, there's fans blowing everywhere, all these big-ass hard drives and mainframes. You can't just go through with the local janitor service and clean that. You need specialized gear, specialized equipment to make those environments dust-free and clean because dust kills the tech. You don't want the tech killed. So if you have a lot of tech, first of all, you got to have a company like Blue Frost IT to help maintain it, from through their services as a managed IT service provider, but also keeping them actually physically clean, dust-free. That's what Green Clean Technologies does, and it's an insurance policy because if that shit gets all dusty and stupid and filthy, it's going to puke, and there goes your data. Wouldn't that be terrible? And then you got to take that shit back to Blue Frost and say, help me, and they're going to say, you should have called on Green Clean, dummy. Call up the folks at Green Clean Technologies and get a quote. 989-560-7272. All right. Where is my story about the great state of Utah? Aha. Okay. Now, in the story that I'm looking at, the online article, it is it's a stock photo from back a few years ago, but it applies today. It's a bunch of families, little kids, moms, dads with signs, and the kids are these brainwash idiot Utah kids holding signs that says, I love all of my moms. These are polygamists who want polygamy decriminalized. And they're protesting. My choice. My dad wants me to have 5 moms. So fucking weird. Utah is another country within the United States. We need to build another border wall around Utah and let them have at it so that their craziness doesn't affect the rest of the world, okay? They got to have a hall pass to get out of Utah. Colorado's not much better. They're crazy there, too. These fuckers, these guys, it's their religious freedom they feel to have as many wives as they can. Holy crap. Now, I cannot imagine a guy. Oh, hold on. Before I get ahead of myself. So what has happened is, it is happening. A law has effectively decriminalized bigamy when 2 people marry while at least one of them is already legally married. Okay? So nowadays, that's like a traffic ticket. For decades, according to this article, it was a 3rd-degree felony, legally punishable, I can't talk because of this canker sore, by up to 5 years in prison and up to a $5,000 fine. The new law makes it an infraction, putting the offense on par with getting a traffic ticket. The governor signed it and said, yeah, absolutely. These people need to have, this guy, like me, I need to have more than one wife. Polygamy has been a thing in Utah by certain religious groups since before it became a state and continues to persist to this day. I don't know how anybody would ever want that. I mean, I can see, I kind of think that they should be able to do what they want to do. I don't care. I don't have a problem with anybody having, hell, people cheat on their wives all the time, and it's shunned, okay? It's not illegal, though. So people do that all the damn time. And then this is just like, all right, no problem there. And the women, I can't believe that women in this type of religious setup can be so different than most women in the country, because, most people women especially, I think women are more monogamous than men. But, typically it's just a one-on-one thing for life. And anything more than that, I think it opens up a whole different set of weirdness. It just seems so insane to me. And to think that, most people, if you have a woman and a guy, and then the guy has another woman, the first woman is so ruined. It's devastating, And to think that in Utah you can have a woman who's married to a man and like 4 other women, and all 5 of them get along and love each other. That is so strange to me. And that happens. There's been reality shows about it. They're like, oh, yeah, we all love each other. Yeah, you got like woman A is like, yeah, I porked him last night, and tonight my husband Paul he wants anal, so wife C is the anal wife. So that's little butt play. I got to take a back seat. I'm just straight sex, and it's so weird to me. I can't even if my brain would not be able to handle that. I can, first of all, I can't have my attention in more than one place on anything, let alone a wife. Now, like, for example, on Netflix, I can only watch one show before I finish it, and then I can't start another show until I finish the one. So that's that's how straight one-track mind I am. If I am focused on Netflix show Diana, I'm going to end up losing my mind if I then have to focus on Diana and another woman and or a third woman, or it opens up a whole weirdo. It just doesn't work. It's not. I don't know how they do it. How can you keep track of it all? But that's a thing, and in Utah right now, it is no longer a big deal. And I do agree with it, because I think that they should be allowed to do what they want. It's just crazy to me. I can't believe it. The bill passed the legislature in February with overwhelming support, though it faced some opposition from advocacy groups who argued it normalized what they called an inherently oppressive practice. I take it back. I read this whole article earlier, and there was a side to it that made me think that they shouldn't be able to do what they want, and that's what I'm going to get to right now. So what I said earlier, I need to rethink that, because there is another side to this about human rights that makes this a little bit more complex, and I'll get to that. The lead sponsor of the bill is a Republican lady. She called Utah's previous law unenforceable, saying it did not prevent people from engaging in polygamy, but instead isolated polygamous communities and prevented potential victims from reporting abuse. All right. Vigorous efforts of the law during the mid-20th century did not deter the practice of plural marriage. And the intent of the bill is to eliminate the fear of arrest, imprisonment, and having children removed into state custody in order to encourage more reporting, make investigating abuse easier, and lower the high barrier to community integration. Opponents say the bill normalizes polygamy. A nonprofit called the Sound Choices Coalition says no way. They condemned the decriminalization of bigamy when the bill was passed in February. This is abhorrent to us, many polygamous victims and other Utahns who recognize that religious polygamy as practiced in Utah and around the country is responsible for many serious human rights violations. Most who are living in these fundamentalist polygamous groups and families are treated as property, forced to work without pay. They're brainwashed, traded as daughters, coerced into having unwanted sex, and into giving birth to numerous children that they cannot care for. That's the problem. The organization called the bill a step toward legalizing the practice of polygamy and said it was concerned that the legislation would allow polygamy to grow. You know what? I'm taking it all back. Fuck these guys. They're crazy as shit. This should all be illegal. I know I've flip-flopped in the span of 3 minutes, but no, I not fucking. You have one wife. How is this a thing? These churches are crazy as shit. I'll say that about any church that does crazy shit. I'll say that about pastor who says you should show up to my church during a pandemic. You're a crazy fucker. And these are crazy fuckers too. No way it should be illegal. All right. I mean, I'm not saying no way that it should be illegal. I'm saying no way this should be illegal. All right. As always, Eric at ericzaneshow.com for your questions, comments, concerns. I'd like to read the feedback I get on the podcast from various things that I post on social media. You should follow me on the Facebook page brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. Facebook.com/Eric Zane fan page. All right. What we have here is the discussion about Jackie's car being down 3.5 quarts of oil. Car wasn't making any funny noises. I'm surprised it didn't blow up. But I got a lot of feedback on that. One of the early things of feedback I got was, Zane, what are you doing? You've got a sponsor, JM Synthetics, who sells motor oil. What are you doing buying a off the shelf brand? You fucking morons. How did you fuck that up? Yes, I know that. But you realize I'm down 3.5 quarts. The car's basically smoking, about to blow up. I have to put motor oil in it that second. The last I checked, I have to go online to JM Synthetics or call Jason and say, I need 5 quarts of oil. That would require something known as time, which I did not have. So shut up. Yes, I bought a 5-quart bottle of motor oil from something that is other than my sponsor. Dick, I was in a pinch. That's what it's called. I had to adapt. Car didn't blow up, so please fuck off. Logan gets it. He writes, she must have bought that oil. Oh, no, he doesn't get it. She must have bought that oil because I know Eric is all about the AMSOIL. I am, Dick, but I can't wave my AMSOIL wand to get it right then. Down 3.5 quarts isn't bad. I regularly drove my old Aveo like that. It's still kicking with 230,000 miles on it. An Aveo, wow, man. I was looking for some of your comments and questions about how your vehicles were almost destroyed by a loved one or a kid. Let's see what you got. Tim writes, my stepdaughter carved her name in the hood of the car when she got mad. Ugh. Other than that, my daughter takes care of her car. Oh, man. All right. Is it still there? Is it still got her name in it? I need more background on that story, Tim. That sounds like some good drama. Zaniac Nate tags his daughter and writes, sound familiar? Except you threw a rod. Remember that in the Blues Brothers? Getting away from the cops? What happened? She threw a rod. And all the oil goes on the windshield, and Elwood's got to wipe it off while he's driving. Dun, 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 dun. Being chased by the Illinois Nazis. Jason writes, my dad would tell you that his son, me, way overfilled the minivan with oil and blew up the engine. Yep, that can happen. Angela writes, 4 flat tires. Yes, 4 flat tires. And the 4-wheel drive engaged. My kid couldn't understand why he had to fill up every 2 days. Oh, God, people in their car. And by the way, I brought this up with Justin. I go, hey, Justin, you're not going to believe this. Jackie was down 3.5 quarts. This is proof that the younger generation doesn't give a shit about this sort of thing. He goes, I don't know what that means. What does that mean? What does that even matter? I go, what? Come on, man. Man. Gary writes, give me a jingle if you end up needing an engine. Yeah? You got one for that, or are you like in business? No free rides. Andrew, I once tried to take the coolant cap off with it overheating and nearly burned myself. I bet that's pretty common. What else? Brett writes, when I was 16, I was attempting to park my dad's Jeep in the garage and went to turn off the radio. And somehow I managed to hit the bricks next to the garage, and I nearly took the garage down and busted up the bumper. Dumbest thing I've ever done. I think every kid's hit the garage. I know my kids did. Jay, a call back to the past for me. Don't over-tighten the drain plug again. I did that probably 10 years ago. Over-tightened the drain plug. Stripped it. Aluminum drain pan. Oil change ended up costing me like $400 to get a new pan installed. It was terrible. Brad writes, our daughter keeps doing burnouts in the driveway. What? Well, you need to kick her ass for that. We tell her the tires are going to burn off. We won't be able to replace them. She's, okay, I get it. She's 7 and drives the pink toy UTV. Michael says, my brothers once washed my mom and dad's 1983 Buick station wagon, the one with the backward seat in the rear. They were 7 years old. They stuck a hose up the tailpipe and turned the hose on. They blew out all the engine seals. It blew smoke the remainder of the time we had it. Took it camping after the incident in a state park. Rolled up to the gate to check in. We're billowing so much smoke the ranger covered his mouth and waved us through. Says Mike in Indiana. All right. Let's see. What else? Jonathan, wait, you didn't get AMSOIL? Shut up! Eric, any stories? Megan says, well, yeah, I told the one. Oil pan. No, I take it back. My brother's Grand Am. I told him I knew how to change the oil. Okay, great. I changed it. Drained it all. Put the plug back in. Put in the 5 quarts. I checked the checked the dipstick. And it says it needed more. I go, oh, okay. It must have this V6. Maybe it takes a half quart more. So I'm adding in a half quart at a time. Half quart here, check, nothing. Half quart, nothing. Half quart. I was about up to 7.5 quarts of oil. And then I realized that you can't check the motor oil with the engine on and running because all the motor's in where all the moving parts are, not in the pan where the dipstick is. So the car's like, oh, no, more oil. He's putting more oil in. It's going to blow up the motor just like that one dude did in that story. So I finally figured it out, but I did not blow the motor, and then I realized, oh, shit. And then I drained the oil and survived, but that could have been bad. Don't do that. Ryan says, I had a Ford Contour, drank about 2 quarts a day in gas. No, drank about 2 quarts per tank of gas. It got all the used oil from the other cars. Finally died when my friend filled the oil with coolant. Oh, fuck. Let's see. And then Ryan says, so you're saying that the car wasn't completely empty, Zane. And then Kevin, Open Carry Kevin wrote, nope, 1.5 quarts left. Incredible. Okay. On to the portion of the show that I want to talk about. Little trip down memory lane. I like to look at these moments when I talk about my old days on my old show. More for you than for me. A lot of you either listen to them still, or actually, a lot of my audience doesn't listen to my old show anymore. After leaving, it did fragment the audience to a degree, and so some people don't listen at all. Some people listen to both here and there, but honestly, yesterday I went down the road of talking about the Bear Vasquez dying, and I retold the story of Joe going to the Lindsay Lohan Freedom Trip, and that was a great trip down memory lane, great story. And I like to think that for me at least, am in the point where looking back on those great moments is something that happens more and more than looking back on like hurt feelings and things like that. At least that's where I am. That's about the only thing I can do and the only thing that I can worry about. And I even posted about that on their Reddit page a couple months ago about how, they mostly good memories, some bad ones, but the good ones outweigh the bad, and hopefully everybody will feel that way. Maybe they do. I don't know. I have no idea. I am too scared to ask. Who knows? Doesn't matter. Well, it does matter, but I'll just leave that there. But anyway, while talking about it, I decided to post the video of when Joe was on TV, which to me is, as I indicated yesterday, the most incredible thing I'd ever been involved in my career. And so I wrote in the post, do you have a favorite memory from the old show back in the day? Comment below. And you guys did not disappoint. What a lot of great memories. Len loved, he wrote, straight honesty, the realness. That is my favorite memory. The feeling of sitting in a bar with a few dudes and shooting the shit. No pre-planned formula, no cookie cutter recipe. It came from the hunger to succeed. I get it, all of it, but understanding doesn't make me not miss it. Rob wrote, too many to count, but these were the best days of the FBHW show as he remembers it. No particular order. He writes, Joe running with the Bulls. Bad news for that guy. 15-second fights. The Monster Energy Java chug-off. Quote, thanks, dude. Eric to a mannish-sounding woman caller that had hot wings bent over laughing. When one of the Doobie Brothers, my wife's brothers, had a hernia and a hot air balloon ball testicle, but insisted he was fine. It stuck out like a big grapefruit. You could see it through his pants. Eat a veiner was something I said, but I barely remember it. Intern Frank's small talk, wetting a bagel and throwing it at the guys and saying he'd peed on it. Yeah, that was fucked up. My crush on Kyle Quincy that the guys picked up on, and man, they beat the shit out of me over that one. Holy fuck, what a thread that was. The Games, Sportier Than Thou, celebrity name game stumped the show that led to many on-air fights. JD in Nashville, I kind of remember that. When Diana was referred to as a boobless ginger boy. I don't recall that. I would beat the fuck out of somebody right now if they said that about my wife. I used to be much harder on my wife. Frankly, I was meaner, and I meant it back then. I have since become much more appreciative and respectful of my marriage over the years. It said Eric was in on it and laughing. And I'd kill somebody if they said that about my fucking wife. Cats in the Cradle. Hey, Dad! That fart got to me, which was the quote from Kevin, the Doobie Brother. Hamster euthanasia. Oh, boy. Eric and Joe looking at cartoon porn on the air. The Moose is Loose song. Steve getting beat up by his girlfriend, which never happened. It was an ex-girlfriend. We used to spin the yarn that he used to get beaten for some reason. Much, much more. Rob writes, notice a lot of these are Eric-induced. Yeah, we had some good times. Danielle writes, Dude Chataway was one of my favorite segments when Dude interviewed Dita Von Teese and called her Gordita with cheese. Loved the Joe stunts as well as your fights with Joe and mocking Hot Wings in my Hot Wings voice. which I did invent. The show was the best back then, got me through many third shifts at a factory, so thank you for that. And, and the show is, I get a lot of people say, the show's great now. And I look at it as, I'm not even going to go down that. That's pointless. It's a lot of people like the show now, and that's all I need to say, and that's all that matters. Hamster Story was one of the funniest segments I ever listened to, or how many 5-year-olds you could kill before they overwhelmed you. All fun conversations. Let's see. Keith writes this. I, like everyone else, who had their show replaced by these 4 dipshits, 4 at the time, was pissed. What happened to my Bob and Tom? Then one day it happened. The topic of running into Fabio at Sam's Club, and it was a story that had me hooked from that day on. Tim has some nice things to say. You were part of the funniest things in the show. You feeding Joe lines during the stunts, the hamster story, and you digging through Hot Wings' wallet. Oh, yeah, I remember that. A lot of these things I've forgotten. Paintball Gauntlet was a good one. I loved this, too. Paul writes, number one show moment for me was the let me see how it sounds. Wormholes. We would line up the on-air feed with the internet feed, and then it would make our voices sound
a little like this, and you hear pizza, 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 and that would happen.
I think I can do that here to some degree. I think I tried this once. If this works, I'll be shocked. Give me a second. I got my staff helping me out on it. It's going to involve me going to my own Facebook page, and then I think I would have to merely scroll down and look at the live video. There's like 26 people watching this shit right now. Where the fuck did everybody go? Is it that shitty? I'll be shocked. And then I think
pizza.
I would have to merely scroll down and look at the live video. There's like 26 people watching this shit right now. Where the fuck did everybody go?
Pizza.
Is it that shitty?
Pizza.
Shocked.
Pizza.
And then I think
pizza.
I would have to
pizza.
merely scroll down and look at the live video. There's like 26 people watching this shit right now. Where the fuck did everybody go?
Where the fuck did everybody go?
Shitty?
Pizza. Pizza. Where did everybody go?
And then I think
Pizza. Pizza.
I would have to
Pizza.
merely scroll down
Let me see how it
look at
sounds.
the live video. There's like 26 people watching this shit right now. Where the fuck did everybody go?
Where the fuck did everybody go?
Pizza.
Pizza. Pizza. Where the fuck did everybody go? Where did everybody go?
And then I think
Pizza. Pizza.
I would have to
Pizza.
merely scroll down
Let me see how
and
it
look at
sounds.
the live video. There's like 26 people watching this shit right now. Where the fuck did everybody go?
Where the fuck did everybody go?
Pizza.
Pizza. Pizza. Where the fuck did everybody go? Where did everybody go?
And then I think
Pizza. Pizza.
I would have to
Pizza.
merely scroll down. All right, that's the wormhole. Can still do it. It's a real good day if I can still pull off a wormhole. Let's see. More good memories. And I honestly, I love this. I love looking back on this stuff. We had a lot of fun on that show. It was a good time. Did get weird. That happens. Hopefully the healing continues for everyone, and one day we'll be able to say, we did pretty damn good together. Matt wrote, one of my favorites was when Joe went into the gas station and did the Jedi mind trick to that black guy. This guy was like an old blues singer, and Joe's like, I will not pay for these cigarettes. I will not. And the guy, man, motherfuck you, boy. And Joe goes, you will not swear anymore. And the guy keeps swearing at him. We had to bleep it out. You guys got to dump. Wyatt says, yeah, the dude looked like he invented the blues. No, he looks like he invented the blues, what's said at some point. Plumpy Nut. I vaguely remember what that was. Zane's political attack ad on free beer. And then someone linked up my attack ad on free beer. play it. Dude Chataway, Steven Seagal, when I called him Stevie Ray Seahag. Thank you, Mrs. Nipple. Mick doesn't listen anymore. He says, I barely ever listen. What's the matter? What is there? People always say it's not the same. Well, of course it's not the same. You have different personnel on there. I was 2 hosts ago, for God's sake. There was another dude named Justin. Everybody hated that guy. I don't know what the deal was with him. I know very little. And so, of course it's going to be different. It's a different show. I mean, there's different people on it. The first time David Lee Roth vocals only aired, I had to pull my truck over because I was laughing so damn hard. And Ned, who was the guy who had the gauges in his ear, he worked at the radio station. Now he works at Rock 108 in Iowa. He wrote, that was one of my favorite moments that made me proud to work alongside you guys in the old days. Pure classic radio craziness that made people smile. I think he's referring to the stunt of Joe with Lindsay Lohan. The Red Sovine teddy bear bit. I had to pull over. Hey, if you want to hear this classic shit, I'll just tell you right now, those guys have done a great thing on their show where if you pay for their I forgot the term that they use for it, but you can sign up for it used to be called the VIP. I think they call you like an idiot or a fancy idiot or something like that. If you pay for it, not only do you get the podcast, but on Saturdays they post all of the old shit when we were all together. And from what I'm hearing through the grapevine, they're posting like the sweater beat up. And so you can get all that shit. I think it's like $5 a month. And so if you're a fan of the old shit, on Saturdays they do that. So that is fun. I look back very fondly on those days. And you should too. Because if we didn't have those days, I wouldn't have this now. Pizza! 26 people watching this thing? What the fuck happened to you people? Everybody go to work? Is everybody going to work now? Is that what's happening? It might be. All right. I have more on the podcast. We're going to set a record today for time. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I've got T-shirts at ericzaneshow.com. I want you to get one. I want you to wear it proud. All different designs. I'm working on new designs right now. I have to shoot. I have to do photo shooting, which is hard to do. I have to come up with new designs. If you have a design for a T-shirt that you think would be fun, please share it. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Otherwise, T-shirts are $24.95. That includes shipping them out. It includes tax. It's all good. $24.95 is what you pay. I also have hoodies, long sleeve, ladies' tanks, hats, joggers, all at ericzaneshow.com. JM Synthetics. Okay, they are the #1 distributor of AMSOIL products. Their website, jmsynthetics.com. In fact, I'm going to go there right now to help me talk about it. Now, they don't have a thing where if you think I need a big 5-quart bottle of oil, it'll appear magically next to your car when you need it. If they did, I wouldn't have gone into the auto parts store and bought a 5-quart bottle of oil. I hope that is understood, dummies. But if they did, I could have utilized that. I will say this. AMSOIL motor oil. They're the best in the business. They invented synthetic oil. And the only way to get their products is through Jason Mays, Zaniac Jason. Right up there. If you want, you can call him at 616-747-0233. He's a hillbilly, so you can talk about like guns, oil, ATVs, and shit like that, and killing things. Or you can go to his website, jmsynthetics.com. Go to this hillbilly site and click Shop Online, Shop by Product. Now, you're going to see a bunch of stuff there. Now, you got like fuel additive, transmission fluid, gear lube, bearing and chassis grease. And you guys that fix your own shit, this all means something to you. Filters. They even sell firearms, lubricants, and cleaners, bar and chain oil. And this stuff, it isn't open to everybody. Not everybody can go to jmsynthetics.com and just buy this. You got to be a preferred member, okay? They don't want some dick who doesn't barely know anything using their stuff. You got to be a regular, okay? Now, what they do is they make you pay $20 a year for this to be a preferred customer to open up all these great products. I mean, you and I can get oil, but we might not be able to get some of the other products. That's the way they do it. It's their business model, and it works, so shut up. You pay Jason $20 a year. You get everything. You sign up for $20, and then you buy $100 worth of shit. Okay, couple cases of oil, maybe some hydraulic oil for whatever, your tractor or whatever hillbilly shit you have on your property. He's going to give you your $20 back. That's how serious he is about this, of you being a preferred customer of his products. The number one distributor of AMSOIL products in the world is Jason Mays. You don't believe me? Go to his website, jmsynthetics.com, and find out all this information out for yourself. Thank you, Jason. Realtors went back to work. As you know, I got a mortgage guy over here, and I got a realtor over there. He wears red-rimmed glasses. His name is Henry Steffes. He wants to sell your home. Call him up, 616-293-8298. And he will engage you about selling your home. He's going to come through your home. He's going to spend about 30 minutes looking at what you got here. He's going to tell you what you can list it for. Before you know it, it's listed. And you're like, I didn't realize that I could get that much for my house. And Henry's like, yeah, I can sell it for this much. And you're like, shit, well, I'm going to make $15,000 more if what you say is true. Next thing you know, voila, your home is sold. Henry did it. Henry Steffes, the Steffes Group of Keller Williams Realty. You're backed by Keller Williams, the best in the business. Henry's awesome. Call upon him when you need that home sold today. 616-293-8298, or just go to his website, thesteffesgroup.com. You can contact him through there or look at his listings. Okay. By the way, Henry might have the most attractive group of people working with him. Seriously. They're all as pretty as a picture. He surrounds himself by his adorable wife and two other very, very bright, fantastic young ladies who are just like, I mean, you look at them, they look like models, for God's sake. You don't believe me? Go to thesteffesgroup.com and you'll see for yourself. Go look at the babes at thesteffesgroup.com. I'm going to be here till like noon doing this podcast today. Do you remember the story about the guy, the Michigan senator or congressman? I can't remember which one. I think he's a senator, state senator, who a stupid redneck in some shitty community goes to the chamber in Lansing, and the only thing I think he was trying to do was appeal to those liberty-seeking Minutemen asshole who protest the Capitol with their bazookas and shit. I think he was trying to appeal to that group of misfits who everybody hates. In fact, I think there's another protest tomorrow in Lansing. And Whitmer should have the Blue Angels fly over again, except this time she should have them, like, open fire. And so that there's fucking Carhartt flying everywhere and Confederate flags and burning Don't Tread on Me flags on these fuckheads. There you go. A Blue Angel strafing with like machine guns, and they're dropping bombs on these assholes, and just be done with it in one fell swoop. Who's with me? This dick goes to work with his mask. It's a Confederate flag. And he says, oh, yeah, I knew I was going to raise some eyebrows with this one. Yeah. And then the next day he says, oh, I didn't know. It wasn't a Confederate flag. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry if you were offended. I'm not going to wear it anymore. But he's a fat old fuck. Okay, that's what this guy is. So, all right. This story from Wood TV8, a guy who I've been completely opposed to, anytime he tries race baiting the world. He's the local leader of the NAACP. His name is Clee Jackson. And nice guy, but always race baiting everybody. But In this instance, I listened to this already. I agree with everything Clee Jackson is saying, and that's something I have never said on this podcast. Clee Jackson has been a pain in the ass. He's always trying to undercut the cops when they're doing their job. Whenever you see like some cop who's walking down the street or he happens to engage a young person and he says something to the kid and the kid doesn't comply, and the next thing you know, the kid's on the ground. And then Clee Jackson is always the one saying that this cop needs to be, shot by a firing squad. That's Clee Jackson. So I always can't stand what this guy says. But in this case, I absolutely agree. Take a listen to the story about the dickhead who wears the Confederate flag or wore the Confederate flag mask.
Tonight, NAACP leaders of chapters throughout West Michigan are coming together to call for the resignation of the state senator who wore a mask with a Confederate flag design on it onto the Senate floor. State Senator Dale Zorn created a firestorm when he wore the mask, and tonight, West Michigan voices are joining in the chorus of those calling for his resignation. Here's News 8's Leon Hendricks.
Doctor.
It didn't take long to get attention. The mask with a design on it that looked like the Confederate flag. At a time where tensions have already been high in Lansing, this whipped up even more of a frenzy.
Asking for the resignation of Senator Zorn.
Senator Dale Zorn is a Republican from Ida on the state's east side. He has apologized for wearing the mask.
We cannot allow
Not really.
those types of behaviors to go unchecked.
To me, the only apology you can say, and he didn't say it, was this Confederate flag I used to incite black people. And I love slavery and hillbillies who love slavery, and I'm sorry, and I'm stepping down. That's the only apology he can make.
And so an apology is just not enough.
Clee Jackson is among the West Michigan NAACP presidents who are coming together to send a message condemning Zorn's mask. And it doesn't stop there. The organization is also denouncing some of the behavior seen at protests on the state capitol.
They're all those assholes.
I thought it was
Let us in. No.
absolutely disgusting. They're simply dog whistles to a base that, of course, will use this as a social political ploy.
The NAACP.
Absolutely. Jackson is 1,000,000% right here, and I never thought I'd say that, but he's saying nothing that is inaccurate at this point.
NAACP prides itself as a nonpartisan organization, but it is throwing its support behind the governor during this pandemic, one that has disproportionately claimed black lives in Michigan.
She has put first the lives and safety of all Michiganders versus looking at this purely from an economic vantage point. This is a public health pandemic crisis that we cannot ignore.
Yes.
Jackson says his hope is that the rhetoric shifts to a message of unity.
In times like these, we should come together to support and not divide.
For News 8 tonight, I'm Leon Hendricks.
What a fucked up thing. You know, it's a fucked up world if you can't even get sick without it turning into some degree of political bullshit. Who would have thought that getting sick would be a political thing? I don't get it. I have no idea what's going on about that. I think people, maybe it's just because they're too cooped up, and then they pay attention to the rhetoric too much, and then they're generally stupid people to begin with, and then one thing leads to another in their brain. The next thing you know, they're walking around the Capitol holding a noose and with a bazooka over their shoulder. Did you see the picture of the guy in the subway with the subway restaurant with an actual bazooka or rocket launcher over his shoulder while he's ordering a BMT? Did you see that asshole? I would have made the sub if I was working at the subway and I saw this patriot come walking in with his fucking bazooka, and a guy was, BMT. I was, oh, yeah, great. Okay, yeah, that's a hell of a bazooka you got there. That looks great. Yeah, man, What do you want? What? Okay, you're a sandwich artist. What are we doing here? Lettuce, olives. Okay, pastrami. Okay, good. And then when the guy was all ready to put the finishing touches, I would say to the guy, I was like, "Oh, look, a black guy." And then when the hillbilly whips around to see the black guy and tell him to fuck off, I spit right in the sandwich. Go, blow my nose in the sandwich, rub it on my armpits. And he's sitting there yelling, looking for the black guy. I open up my ass cheeks. I rub the sandwich in my asshole. I wrap it up. I go, here, if it's on the house, motherfucker, keep your money, you fucking dick. Fuck you. Watch out for the Blue Angels. They're going to bomb you. All right. Fuck. This is incredible. I'm wrapping this shit up. Look, I have one, I got one more thing to tell you about. Fuck, where am I here? All right, I did that. Now I have so much left to talk about. Okay, I got these sponsors I got to get to. First of all, it's very, very important that you sign up for the free paintball. Sign up for free paintball. $100 of free paintball can be yours. You got to send me an email, damn it. Eric@ericzaneshow.com. Send me an email, write paintball giveaway, and you are in the drawing. It comes up Friday, okay? It's free. Take a $100 gift card to TC Paintball. That was donated by a listener who gave Rick $100. It was so sweet. And then Rick gave me the gift certificate to give to you. And if you would, please buy your paintball in advance from TC Paintball, 616-249-8227. If you've ever played paintball with me, buy $100 worth of paintball from Rick, and you're buying it in advance, and then you're good to go for as soon as we start playing paintball again at the outdoor facility. And then you don't have to pay for it then. You're going to pay for it anyway, so just do it now, and you're really going to help Rick. Thank you. And let's see, two more things. BK Guns and Stuff. I got to head over to Saranac because my dad's 22 is is fucked up. Jackie screwed it up. You can call BK Guns and Stuff at 616-902-2447. I understand a lot of the Zaniacs are having apparently shotguns modified or customized. I don't know what's up with that. It sounds cool. They're probably going to take them over to the Capitol, unloaded, and walk around Lansing, or maybe loaded. I have no idea. BK Guns and Stuff, 616-902-2447. Call upon those hillbillies and get your shit fixed, modified, firearms transfers, customized work, doesn't matter, or buy a firearm. I know one of the Zaniacs bought a shotgun, a home defense shotgun from BK Guns and Stuff. Last but not least, Mario's the mortgage guy. Here he is, right here. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage, 231-332-6505. Get a mortgage, man, with Mario. You know who's on the case? My son. My son is going down the road of possibly getting a mortgage. That would be a first-time thing, so Mario's the best at it. I go, call him, man. He's going to help you out. Maybe you need cash out of your home that you already have to push you through to the other side of the pandemic. He's got it. Call him. Tell him that I sent you, please. 231-332-6505. These are difficult times. People are scared, not knowing what will happen next. Now, more than ever, we need to stand together and do our part.
Listen to that voiceover.
Stay home. Stay safe.
That's a voiceover.
Save lives. And we will get through this difficult time as one.
Yep.
Go to Lansing. Scream and yell.
Confederate flag mask.
Act like a fuckhead. Get out of your car. Honk your horn. Waste your time. Spread the disease.
Right. Yep.
Make something that is already horrible
much more horrible.
You are an asshole.
I want you all to know that I stand by every word that I say. No apologies. Take it or leave it. Up to you. Once it leaves my mouth, a comedian said this once. I think it was either, I'm not sure what comedian said this, but I didn't come up with it. As soon as it leaves my mouth, and enters your brain, it's your responsibility. It's your problem. I have nothing to do with it, of how you process it. My show, the free one and the Patreon, is longer than your favorite radio show. I give you more, and it's fucking better. No bullshit. Compare and let me know. Thank you, folks. I appreciate you. This ego-filled rant for the last 2 hours plus is brought to you by you. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Talk to you on Patreon. Bye-bye.